I think the key word today, Scott, will be probably relief. We've watched Slough keep their unbeaten run at home to 17 matches, but in some kind of incredible fashion there in the end. It's finished 2-2. What's the best way you can kind of describe that game?
Very strange. Voice has gone a bit croaky from probably screaming and shouting at the lads, trying to get messages over, so I apologise for that. I think at 2-0 down we looked dead and buried. We couldn't find that intensity that we usually play at. And then I think the red card was a massive turning point in the game. All of a sudden the boys sort of started to believe. We obviously had a lot of the ball then. We were able to sort of force pressure on their box and their back line. And then obviously, get the 2 goals, get back to 2-2. And then there's probably a little tinge of disappointment that we couldn't go and find the third. I thought there was enough chances to go and find it, but it wasn't to be. But I think overall we've got to be delighted to come back from 2-0 and get a point, which is huge. And then obviously keep the unbeaten run going, which is something we're really proud of. It looked like it was going to slip away from us at one point, but yet again, the belief and the character the boys have shown has been absolutely first class, and credit to the boys for finding a way to get back into it.
And then just before the game started, of course, the lineup came out, and there's some notable absentees today. The goalkeeper, Dan Lincoln, of course. Tyrese Dice continues to be absent from the team, and Jamal Prosper as well wasn't included.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us about some of the absentees?
Yeah, so Dan Lincoln had commitments out in Barbados, of all places, to go and set up a cricket coaching course, I believe. So it's been in the diary for a while. We knew about it. So we obviously had Hugo lined up. Tyrese hopefully should be back for next Saturday if we push him, but we don't want to push people, and then obviously bring them back too soon and then have them out for longer. And then Jamal, sadly, his dad passed away out in the Caribbean, so he's flown out there, and I think for us today we wanted to do it for Jammers. He's been through a hell of a couple of weeks with obviously personal circumstances, so I'd like to dedicate that point today to Jams and his family. We were thinking of him before the game, and we spoke about the importance of maybe, if we're not doing it for ourselves and not doing it for the supporters, let's do it for him, because he's a huge part of this team. And I think we missed him today. I'll be honest with you, I think he's been absolutely brilliant over the past 4, 5, 6 months. So yeah, that point definitely goes to him and his family, and we're obviously all thinking about them.
And as you said, that he has been performing excellently whilst this has been going on as well. I think there was there a shirt shown by some of the players as well?
Yeah, so we were hoping that we'd get the first goal in the game so we could sort of pick it up and hold it up as a show of respect to Jams and his family. But I think once the first goal went in, it kind of went out the window, because we were like, get the ball back to the halfway line, let's kick off again. And then I believe Josh went and got it. Captain Reliable, I think he remembered. But it was one of those chaotic games where, we just needed to find a way, and we've done it. I think Johnny with 2 great assists, and then David with a leap that I've never seen before from him, and then Nathan to get a deserved goal for all the hard work that he's put in over the past few weeks, and probably not reaped his reward. So I think there was many positives. Thought Spicer came on and was superb. Looked like a real live wire, and that's the Ollie Spicer that we've all been excited about, and I think you've seen glimpses of that today. He's had a crazy sort of couple of months in and out of training with us and in under-19s. He's been away with England, so it's been a little bit hit and miss in terms of his game time here because of that. But today I think he can go home really happy as a 17-year-old that's obviously shown his ability for the last 20 minutes of today. So that was another massive positive for sure.
And just to turn it maybe to a negative, I'm not quite sure what you'll think of this, but Amadi Holloway I thought was an extremely massive handful for both Bayliss and Aweka. There was some frustration as well, I noticed in the first half, when it looked like there might have been a challenge by Amadi Holloway, which I could tell was it frustrated you and your coaching staff very much. What were your thoughts on him?
Emotion gets the better of you. We're like Jack in the boxes in our dugout at times, and I don't want to be like that, but it's what football makes you do, and it makes you act like that. I don't think there's too much in it, to be honest. So at the time I was writing down notes on a pad about possible change of shape, and I looked up and I saw Bayliss on the floor. I saw the last part of the incident. It didn't look great, but I don't think it's a red card. He's a good lad. They're a nice team. They're a good bunch of people. So I think you've got to claim for them. We had 2 against Worthing last season in front of their dugout. So yeah, listen, it's probably something that I look back on with a little bit of embarrassment that we're all jumping up, but I think ultimately the ref got the one right. I think it was a shirt pull on David, which was the second yellow for their red card. And I think that turned the game in our favour. I think there was only one team that was in it from that moment onwards. And it's times like that I talked about the lads. is playing to our superpower, and our superpower today, I think, was getting the ball to David Ogbonna and letting him run at the fullback or the wing back. So once that happened and they went down to 10 men, Johnny Goddard then came into the game, Spicer came into the game. We managed to get balls into the box because we had them pinned back. And yeah, it's worked for us today that we've obviously got a point. We would have liked to have got all three before the game, but they're a really good side. They're coached excellently well. And I knew it would be difficult with possible 4 starters out missing. But the belief and the character and the ability the boys have shown today just shows the strength and depth that we've got. And then hopefully we can move on to Tuesday and get another positive result.
I suppose the question will be from some fans then will be, albeit the red card did help, but how do you kind of change it so that 10-minute spell at the end of the game becomes a 90-minute spell on Tuesday at home to Dartford?
Yeah, I think for us is that we didn't get our press right today. We spoke at length about how we go and press them, but sometimes teams take such risks that when they do it well, it's really difficult to get the press right, and they find the spare man and the keeper. I actually think he's one of the best in the league. His distribution and his saves that he's made against us over the past few years has been phenomenal. So, yeah, they missed out on midfield. They clipped into the front man. And I think not every team has a front man like theirs, where the ball does stick. Usually we're quite aggressive and we win it back, win the first and second ball. But today it wasn't to be. We know Dartford won't be too dissimilar. They'll play forward to 2 big front men probably. They've had a good result today, so we'll have to make sure that we're on it, make sure the lads obviously rest and recover between now and then. Tyrese won't be back, Jammers won't be back, neither will Dan Lincoln. I'm back available, which is nice, and I think for me, I probably woke up this morning and realised that I kind of let the lads down a little bit by getting 10 yellows. I think it's ill discipline of me. So yeah, it's one of those that I felt guilty stood on the side of the pitch not being able to help. But overall, I think we got the changes right as a management team today, like we did last weekend. So we can go home having played our part as such, but it's full credit to the boys for getting that point for sure.
And I think my final question then will be probably one you won't like me asking, because it's going to keep cropping up, I think, because today you've actually ended up getting a point closer again to the playoffs, despite dropping points. There's a chance on Tuesday now for Slough to actually draw level with, I believe it's Braintree, who are now sitting 7th. It's still an exciting prospect, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, there's a flame there that's still burning. I know everyone wants to get in there. We know it's going to be extremely difficult and tough. We'll always plug away. I think you've seen that over the past 7 or 8 months of the season, that we'll never give up. I think we've been a team that I'm certainly proud of, the management team are proud of, and I think the supporters are proud of. I think a lot of teams would probably buckle under pressure today and lose that game. They don't find a way to get back into it, but we'll keep fighting. I think teams know that if they come here, they'll be in for a difficult afternoon, but we need to make sure that we can make away games similar to that as well. And if we can do that, we might be in and around it, but we might also slip away. But ultimately, it's down to us as a group to see if we can keep the excitement going, the rush and the buzz going. I believe we've got a good squad, but there's other teams in this league that have also got good squads. So I think the head-to-head games against your Baths, your Tunbridge, your Braintrees, Aveley's, that's what we've played Aveley twice already, but those sorts of teams, they become 6-pointers for us and for them, but at the right end of the table. Last season we had them at the wrong end of the table, so I guess it's a nice place to be in, that we don't have to look down, we don't have to worry what's below us, and we can enjoy the season and hopefully look up.
Cheers, Scott, and we'll look forward to seeing what happens against Dartford here on Tuesday.
Cheers, Con. Thanks, mate.